Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content.
Here we go. Adam Schefter. We've got NFL. It's the trade deadline. This is pricey. The Colts are trading 2 first-round picks to the New York Jets to get Sauce Gardner. The Colts are a very good team. This weekend, they get hammered, and their takeaway is, listen, we got our roster, we got our quarterback, we got our O-line, we got Warren, we got Pittman, we have Taylor. We don't have a corner. So they're going to say, the Colts are saying, listen, we got the roster, we got the coach, we got everything. We don't have a corner. I will also tell you there is a feeling among NFL executives. There is a corner shortage in the league. Everybody has a second or third good receiver. Nobody has a second good corner. Many teams don't have a good first corner. So Sauce Gardner, I got to give the Jets credit on this. 2 first-round picks. So the Jets now, like the Dallas Cowboys, the difference is the Jets need a quarterback. So the Jets are mailing in the season. They're going to have 2 first-round picks next couple of years. They're going to go get a quarterback. And the reason they're doing this is if they end up with a second-best record and they really love a quarterback, maybe you move up 1 spot to get the guy you want. So the Jets are giving up Sauce Gardner for 2 first-round picks. The Seahawks also, Tom Pelissero, are going to get Rashid Shaheed. He's a speed receiver. Sammy Darnold, baby, just got another receiver to go with JSN. The Saints are sending their speed receiver. He's an over-the-top guy to the Seahawks. Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero. Guys, nice job on that. So, I thought Seattle's receiving core was already good. JSN, we talked about this yesterday. Is he a top 2-3 receiver in the league? Now they add a speed receiver. Again, now you're forcing safeties to play differently against, and Sam Darnold's got a big arm. Darnold is a big play quarterback. They just added a big play wide receiver. How good is this? How good is this? Hour 2, Herd Hierarchy, Nick Wright.
All right, today's show is brought to you by our new presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. They're a great partner. There's always something to bet on. If you haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet yet, there's still time for you to get $150 in bonus bets. If you win, just place a $5 bet. That's it, $5. If it hits, you not only get your winnings, but you get $150 in extra bonus bets. The NBA is back, which means it's time to shoot your shot on Hard Rock Bet. You're home for all the hoops action all season long. If you need a little help with your first bet, check out the streaks heating up inside the Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub. You can find live odds to bet on all of these streaks right in the Hard Rock Bet app. Download the Hard Rock Bet app today and make your first deposit.
Oh, I've probably sounded better a few broadcasts in my life. Who cares? Suck it up. Here we go. LFG live in Los Angeles. It's the Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thanks for making us part of your day. We've got the Herd Hierarchy. We've got Nick Wright. We'll check in on the Cowboys. J-Mac, Lakers won again. I got to tell you, this is fascinating to me. So you and I think both, we like business. We're kind of into it, like especially the sports business. It's amazing to me what people go cheap on. Like I've always said, like in life, transportation, toilet paper, and quarterbacks don't go cheap. You can go cheap on paper towels and water. But it's amazing to me. The Dallas Cowboys are worth $10 billion. Now think about that. So wouldn't you be willing to spend like more than $4 or $5 million on the head coach? I used to be critical of Dak Prescott. I'm sympathetic for Dak Prescott. I feel bad for him. He needs a life preserver. He's drowning with this team. The head coaching staff for Dallas, it's just suboptimal. Bad night, no energy, no juice. Offensive line got humiliated. 3rd most penalized team in the league. They haven't won a game where they didn't score 37-plus points. 2nd straight year, the defense is 31st. I feel bad for Dak. The NFL has far more poorly run teams than well-run teams. We all know the good ones. Seattle and Green Bay and Detroit and Baltimore and Buffalo and Kansas City. We know the well-run teams. when I watched the Dallas Cowboys last night getting hammered at home by a journeyman NFL quarterback, Dallas is a lot closer to the Saints and the Titans and the Jets. I mean, even right now, the Panthers have a pulse. The Panthers beat Dallas this year. But, I mean, they prioritize the wrong stuff. They won't spend money on a big-time coach. Folks, Mike Vrabel, first year, 8-9 games in, they're a playoff team. Sean Payton, most dead cap money in league history. Doesn't matter. Playoffs with a rookie quarterback. Jim Harbaugh took over a shipwreck. Playoff team. I mean, you got to pay him $19 million a year, $18 million a year, and you got to give them power and some control in personnel, and Jerry won't do it. But the longer Brian Schottenheimer's the head coach, it's like we've all had a bad manager. I've been very, very lucky in my life. I've had almost singularly great management. But we've all had a bad boss somewhere, and the longer the bad boss is the boss, the worse it gets. It's bad in the first month. It's terrible after 6 months, and after a year, you're like, we need a new boss. But you could have had Sean Payton. He used to be an assistant there. You could have had Vrabel. I mean, you had a lot of opportunities, but you got to spend $20 million. But they're not willing to do it. Here's the other thing that I noticed with Dallas is that you can't have any conditions in the NFL with winning. Bill Belichick was done when Bill Belichick said, I only want to coach certain players. When Bill Belichick said that, bro, you're done. You got to coach the best players, even if some of them aren't perfect human beings. They're young kids. They make a lot of money. They make mistakes. You can't have conditions. Jerry has conditions. He's willing to win if he has a say and he has control. That is not the NFL. This isn't college football where there's like the Ohio State roster is better than almost every team they play every week. That's not the way it is. A backup, Jacoby Brissett, he's been on 6 teams, the Patriots twice, walked into your building and rolled you. That's because you have conditions. Belichick had conditions. You can't do it that way. And the other thing is when Jimmy Johnson was there and Parcells, there was friction. Friction's great. It's how it creates clarity. Jimmy doesn't want friction from his coach. He wants Jason Garrett. He wants Mike McCarthy. He wants Brian Schottenheimer. He wants comfort. So the 2 things you can't do as an owner in this league is seek comfort with your coach. The good ones are going to piss you off sometimes. The good ones are going to have an opinion. The good ones are going to want to have a say. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer, you saw that Pickens penalty last night. He doesn't want any part of the friction. And the other thing is you can't have conditions in this league. I mean, for years I was tough on Dak Prescott. I feel terrible for the guy. I will acknowledge, I do think eventually the Micah trade a year, 8 months from now in April or whatever it is, that will pay off. But that thing last night, that Dallas looked a lot closer to the Titans and the Jets than they did the Rams or the Eagles or the Ravens and the Bills. And here is Dak Prescott after.
Knowing that you're better than that and going out there and not putting a performance close to your standard or even the expectations or what you thought you could do and expected to do against this team, and credit to those guys. That's the beauty of the NFL. Like, games, plays, stats, none of that's done on paper. You've got to go out there and you've got to earn it that night with everything taken into account. And they kicked our ass and both sides of the ball.
Yeah. I mean, unbelievable. Here's the other thing. Sean Payton used to be, he was coaching on the Cowboys on the offensive side. He left the Cowboys in 2006. And again, I know Sean pretty well. Okay. Sean's got an opinion. Sean's not easy. Sean is a good guy, but Sean's got an opinion. Bill Parcells has an opinion. Jimmy Johnson has an opinion. They're going to make life uncomfortable. They're going to confront you. Sean Payton's got an eye, and Jimmy, Sean, and Parcells may, in my opinion, have the best sense of personnel. Those guys are really good on personnel. A lot of coaches aren't. Andy Reid admits that's not his thing. Some guys are play designers and play callers. Those guys are personnel guys. Jimmy knows personnel, maybe as good as any coach that's ever. Now, Jim Harbaugh, right out of college, also knows personnel. Peyton's good with personnel. You were all banging on that Harvey pickup in the second round. He's really good. And they got dead cap money everywhere, and he's banging, he's hitting with his GM on these players. But Peyton left in 2006. Since then, and by the way, he went to the worst team in the league. So Sean Payton went to the worst team in the league, and then he went to Denver with the worst dead cap money. Sean Payton's got 9 playoff wins since then. Jera has 4. You gotta seek discomfort in any business. Now, Jerry, to his credit, is acknowledging it, but listen carefully after last night's embarrassing debacle.
There's enough intensity here, really. You don't have to add just anger to it. I don't know where that feeling is. It's somewhere. I'm pretty frustrated right now with how we got here, my decision making relative to the things that go on. You know, the way we dial it up here, and there's no dodging looking in the mirror.
Appreciate the candor, appreciate the honesty, but it is a mirror is what they need. That was embarrassing. And I got to say this, for Jacoby Brissett, and I love these reclamation stories. I really do. I remember years and years ago, Parcells was telling everybody, I love this kid named Jacoby Brissett. I love him. He's just a pro. I really appreciate football players. They may not be stars, but they love the game, and they bounce around the league. And Jacoby Brissett, by the way, they are 6-point better in Arizona when he plays over Kyler Murray. It's been a bad year for small quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, Tua, and Kyler Murray since 2019 have 1 playoff win. And people were trying to convince me of Johnny Manziel, and I said, get out of here. And Dylan Gabriel, get out of here. Jacoby Brissett, oh, what a shock. Marvin Harrison on the same day complained he couldn't watch Arizona's offense because his son wasn't getting the ball. Marvin Harrison has his best game as a pro and the best move in the red zone by any receiver this year. So, and I got nothing against Kyler Murray. I've met him. I like him. I think he's the most elusive young quarterback I've ever seen, even more so than Russell Wilson. And I bought into it. But, you know, we got 5 years here. He hadn't been a Pro Bowler. He hadn't had a passer rating over 100. And here's the thing. I don't think he loves football, and I don't think that's a hot take. I'm the owner of Arizona. I know the former GM. I think he's super talented. But this has been a referendum year. Size matters. I'm looking at all these college quarterbacks. Mendoza's 6'5", Dante Moore 6'2.5", 6'3". These college quarterbacks, the Ole Miss kid's good, small but good, but most of them are 6'1.5", 6'2.5", 6'3.5", and that's the key. We've tried to convince ourselves that size doesn't matter, but when you got McBride and Harrison, you need to deliver the ball over the middle of the field. Those guys need the ball on the run, underneath. And I mean, I'm watching them last night. I think Arizona reminds me of Indianapolis last year. Everybody was crushing the coach and the GM, and I see talent. I think Arizona's got dudes. I've been saying this for 2 years with the Colts. The Colts have dudes. They didn't have a quarterback. So you put Jacoby Brissett in, who's a bounce around the league journeyman, just Jacoby Brissett, and they're worth almost a touchdown more a game. It feels like, now here's I will say Kyler Murray is movable. You don't have to pay him. There's no guaranteed money, I think. Is it after next year? There's no guaranteed money. So he's movable, and I don't think the best GMs in the league will go after him, but he's super talented. If you're in chaos or you're desperate, you'll go get him. But the coach says after that really impressive win on the road, standalone game, that Brissett was good, but Kyler's the guy.
I thought he played well. Thought he operated. We had one protection issue. That's on me, us, coaches. We got to do a better job with that, with some protection. And then the one, sack, they made it a little adjustment with the play that we're in. It was a good job by Flew to make the adjustment there. So just got to keep him clean, and he shows that he can deliver the football.
Will Kyler still be your starting quarterback when you're in?
Nothing's changed on that.
Yeah, nothing's changed except the results. Who are we fooling here? You got to stop protecting. I mean, you really do. It's like in Indianapolis. I feel like I'm watching the Colts, where for 2 years I kept defending Chris Ballard. I'm watching the games. I like their players. They just don't have a guy to distribute it accurately enough. And we've been 5 years here with a passer rating under 100. And it just seemed like, to me, Jacoby Brissett unlocks that offense a little bit. So there you go. J-Mac, There are some things I cannot get over. Herd hierarchy at the top of next hour. I don't know what to do with the Packers. I don't know what to do with Kansas City.
Do the Packers have the widest range of outcomes this season? They could lose in the first round. They could win the Super Bowl.
You know what I was saying to the staff this morning through this nasally voice is that Matt LaFleur reminds me a little of Lincoln Riley at USC.
That's not a
I think they're both really smart.
Okay.
I think they love to run the ball first. I think they're very good at developing quarterbacks. But sometimes I question with Lincoln Riley, what's the identity of USC football? And right now with Green Bay, what is my question? What are the Packers? They got dudes. Don't tell me Green Bay doesn't have talent. And I don't want to hear they're young. Seattle's almost as young, and Seattle's on a heater. Seattle looks like, honestly, a top 3 or 4 team in the league.
They got Arizona this week in what is a scary game, right? Because Seattle looks like the best team in the league. What has happened to all the quarterbacks of the best teams in the league the last 4 weeks? Baker loses, right? Daniel Jones loses. Patrick Mahomes loses. I think Seattle's got to be on upset alert this week against suddenly mighty Arizona, huh? With Jacoby Brissett under center? Not with Kyler Murray.
My buddy Matt Mosley is a Cowboy insider. He's been doing the Doomsday podcast forever. I bring him on the volume. Very plugged in, incredibly honest. He is now joining us live from an undisclosed location in probably a nice suburban neighborhood. That's my guess, Mosley. That's where you're at right now. By the way, you don't have to pat me on the back or anything, but I'm playing hurt today. But it's going to be a quality start. I'm going to go 6 innings. So there's no reason to throw any sympathy my way because I know you would do the same thing. But how are you? Let's start after that debacle. How are you, Matt?
Doing fine. Yeah, you're no Yamamoto. You're not going to go the distance in this one.
No.
But it is great to be with you. And got a couple hours of sleep last night after another Cowboys just mess. And I fear you thought this thing was going to be hover around 500. This thing looks so bad right now. I don't know if they ever touch 500 again. I mean,
Listen,
that's really bad.
We've watched Sean Payton, Mike Vrabel, and Jim Harbaugh take bigger messes than Dallas. Mike McCarthy did not leave Dallas a mess. The offense was fine. But Jerry goes discount coach, which I don't understand. When you're a $10 billion organization, you're paying the coach 30% below the going rate for a top coach, or maybe 50% below. You talked to me about this one time. Why is that?
Well, he doesn't respect, and it goes all the way back to Jimmy when he said he could, any coach could lead this team to the Super Bowl. And he just hates. The only time he spent big and brought in a huge name was Bill Parcells. And he's admitted that was to get that stadium built. So, the thought, like Ben Johnson at Chicago in his first time as a head coach is making somewhere in the $11 to $13 million a year range. That sickens Jerry. He can't. The thought of a guy who's never done it making that much money, even to this day, even him being a billionaire and talking to the Wall Street Journal about how he just made $1 billion bet on natural gas. That still kills him. So there's just not the respect level. I think every time there's a Cowboys opening, you think, could he go back to Sean Payton? Could he go to Harbaugh? Could he go to somebody big? Could he go to Belichick? No, those people are too strong of personalities. You always have to find a Schottenheimer who makes him feel comfortable. And then you see, again, I don't put a lot of this on Brian Schottenheimer, but it's very embarrassing what he's ended up with. And he left this defensive coordinator and this head coach with no pass rush, no run defense, no secondary. I mean, it's a bad thing, but that's the deal. There's an utter sort of lack of respect for all of coaching, to which is why he just rolls through them and has a new defensive coordinator every year. There's no continuity. Like in a sense, he's sort of the anti-Steelers, which is like that family's all about continuity, maybe too much about continuity. But Jerry can't do that. He loves to make changes and point at all the shiny new things. And like even today, what was he doing yesterday? We got to trade. Watch our trade. Who is it? Okay, Logan Wilson, another aging linebacker to go along with other aging linebackers on the team that can't tackle. And, I mean, Logan Wilson got benched. So, I mean, I don't know. Is this supposed to inspire Cowboys fans? I don't think so.
So, I've said this. They don't need a quarterback, and they have 2 first-round picks. There's a lot of us that believe on the outside that Jerry, a lot of times there's a sense that the owner has, like Steve Bisciotti in Baltimore really does have a lot of say with personnel, but he hides. He doesn't need the vanity of it, but he makes a lot of decisions in Baltimore, but he doesn't put himself out there. And then there's other owners like the Hunt family that let their guys run the show. They have 2 first-round picks next year. How much of an impact does Jerry have on those? Is it Steven or is it Jerry who's going to get emotional? I mean, is he make the final call on those picks?
He always has the final say, although he can be talked out of things. Famously, there was the Johnny Manziel.
Right.
He wanted him. He was upset and Steven basically jumped in front of that and wouldn't let him do that. And they ended up with like a guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame as offensive lineman. So he does have the final say. He does listen to people more than you would think. Will McClay, who's a real good personnel man.
Yeah.
I mean, and they hit on some picks. I mean,
yes.
there's really no reason to think that with 4 first-round picks over the next 2 years that they're just going to like whiff on them all. They don't do that. It's more about like getting to the season, never prepared, and then of course this infamously, he let this thing with Micah get personal. And I mean, you saw the result last night. I mean, you saw Jacoby Brissett. Like if I read off the quarterbacks they played this season and even the last 2 years with this defense, like they've gotten lucky a lot. They either knock a quarterback out or get to play a second round or get to play a backup. And these guys still throw all over them. I mean, they're lucky and they still can't take advantage of it. I mean, you would have thought, oh, Jacoby Brissett. Like that's what Jerry told me last night. He's like, well, I was so glad. He was very upfront with me. I was like, I mean, you thought you caught a break avoiding Kyler Murray. He's like, you're right. I thought this was going to be a good thing. Last night, Jerry was just lost. I kind of feel like Jerry is going into this bye, like looking for somebody to fire. Like, I don't know who it's going to be, but like he had that kind of look in his eye, like because he's never going to fire himself. So he has to do other things and do things that grab attention. And he hates the thought of not playing because he won't be able to talk. He won't be able to, I mean, I'm sure he'll do some shows. Literally, if you wanted him on this afternoon, Colin, he'd jump on with you. I mean, seriously, he would find the nearest laptop and jump on with you. He cannot stand the bye week because he's out of the picture for a week. And so, like, he'll do something this weekend during the games, whether it's a firing, whether it's a position coach getting thrown overboard, he'll do something because right now that's how much he craves attention because he knows the team is in really bad shape.
Okay, I want to ask you a question before we go on Arch Manning. He had a great game. And again, a lot of buildup. Texas coaches, if they lose a game, they're always on the hot seat. Where is Texas now in terms of potential playoff? Arch Manning, what is the feel in your state on Arch, Sark going forward rest of this year?
Well, I think it's back up over like 30% chance of getting in. I mean, I'm glad after all the heat he took, that he's playing a little bit better. I mean, it is funny. We've come to a point now where we're squeaking out a win at Vandy at home is some kind of amazing thing. But Clark Lee's done a good job with Vandy. I'm just glad to see that he's actually making some throws, playing with some confidence. And so, yeah, they're in the mix. I mean, the funny thing is this year, they're the little brother. They're the little brother in the state.
Right.
And they host Texas A&M to finish this season on the Friday night after Thanksgiving. And boy, that's going to be fun. Because that's going to be a massive crowd, and the Aggies could come in there with such a swagger. They're, Indiana, Ohio State, A&M. Those are the three, and they're above everybody else. Alabama, I guess, is not far behind, but now Texas is a couple of tiers behind that. But if Texas keeps winning and A&M keeps winning, that right there, a massive in-state rivalry that had a few years off, that's going to be That's going to be great. And honestly, that's the coach. That Mike Elko's not getting enough attention. That's the coach in Texas right now. That is, it's remarkable. It's like the Aggies have stumbled into getting the right coach, the man for the moment. And but that could end up being an incredible matchup. But I think people are back to thinking, oh, Texas, look at them.
Yeah.
But I would say like A&M right now, playoff wise, they're in, right? They're 97% in, where Texas has still got they got a lot of stuff to accomplish before they can get in there.
All right, Matt Mosley, Cowboy Insider, Doomsday Podcast. I appreciate it, Matt. We have some breaking news I'm going to get to, my man. Thank you very much, as always, late notice stopping by the Herd.
You bet. Good to be with you.